They're going to want to follow that trend.
But the game one was entertaining, and at the end of the day, that's why we're here, right? We want to see some great League of Legends, some bloodbaths left, right, and center. Starting off with the pick and bans. Ambessa taken out, I'm not too surprised. I feel like that champion in the top lane or jungle can be pretty scary.
Yeah, top lane, she's terrifying. I think she's still, in terms of what we know about the patch, probably the strongest champion. She was nerfed a little bit, but in general, this champion is just so oppressive. It did not take long for people to figure out how strong she is. And the nature of the bans, these are all very good champions. So I do not think, based on bans, that we're kicking off with any kind of troll draft, any kind of for fun draft, because all of these picks have been incredibly strong in solo queues, strong in scrims, and now with Viktor taken away as the kind of creme de la resistance, or whatever it is, creme de la creme of mid lane picks. This is a serious draft through and through. That's a Skarner first pick, Ox. We're not having fun. This is no fun zone.
This is all serious. They want to win, but for those wondering, we are on the current live patch, which is 12.24, which came out like 5 days ago. And that's why the Viktor ban came through. Obviously, he's been updated and is very strong. Interestingly, seeing the Caitlyn come out, presumably for Doran here, which is obviously the Caitlyn is a hallmark of T1, and maybe Guma's there to talk him through it, like, you know, give him some tips and tricks on how to do it. But the Twisted Fate gonna come through, and you know, this is one of Faker's, I mean, he's in the jungle. You could, in theory, play it in the jungle if you really wanted to have seen it done before, so bit of flexibility. Definitely mid and top of roles we've seen it, but I think things could get a bit crazy.
And also remember that T1 at the end of the day, they do have a chance to swap their champions around. When I see the TF lock-in, are they looking to play cross-map? Is that something that they want to do? Do they want to pressure a particular lane? Maybe run it back on comp? I don't know.
I mean, I think generally, it'll be hard to say without knowing where the TF goes. The strength of TF top was you get pressure and you always get to roam early, right? Until we see summoner spells, won't be 100% confident there. It's also something that's been hit a lot on previous patches. Speaking of kind of getting knocked down a peg, the Elise has hovered there. Still powerful in this patch, but definitely a lot weaker early. And while initially we talked a lot about, hey, this is like a super, super serious draft, it's not clear 100% where T1 are going, but I do love that Lux has been picked up here specifically to deny the Caitlyn Lux bot lane, to not let T1 just have incredibly powerful lanes right off the bat.
I like that, but I feel like picking the Lux and then instantly the Nautilus, I feel like that was a bit of a mistake, because you could have just held it as a flex, and now the Naut got instantly answered by that Braum. So T1 really confident with the matchup. And this is a terrible scenario to be playing Nautilus into so much CC, so much single target setup. This is the kind of game where Nautilus can die 10 times, and it wasn't even like the support was playing badly. The comp is just designed to kill him.
It feels like the Lux particularly is an answer to the TF mid, but then again, that's not taking into consideration the thing that it could be flexed around.
I don't actually know what the plan is with this Lux. I'm used to it in the context of support in bot lane to win a matchup. Just range, early damage, obviously very powerful in that isolated 2v2. But as you highlighted, with the Nautilus locked in, unless the Nautilus is a flex, which I cannot imagine, mid lane Lux is not, I don't like that. I think it's not good, you know?
Yeah.
The skins, great. The skins, great. The champion,
The thing is, I think if you got decent gang setup, if you get some momentum, maybe some early ganks on a TF, you could just kind of delete the wave constantly and never let him leave. So I think maybe that's the theory, but I'm kind of on your side where I need to see where it's going to go, but also if it is mid, I'm not super convinced yet. Do you see some more bans coming out? So Varus, Renekton, picks that have quite a bit of early pressure being denied from Gentlemates here. And it seems like they're denying, well, the Jarvan, obviously a lot of setup. And we'll see the Vi as well. So yeah, really denying picks that can allow T1 to set up. And it feels like after that previous game, a lot of where T1 was finding strength was finding isolated members, finding opportunities to pick them up. Their comp facilitates that. I think Viego fits really well. Another auto attacker to stack the Braum. But also once you get that initial kill, you get the reset, you get the momentum.
I feel like that also could potentially further solidify the fact that TF is going to be going in that mid lane. So we don't have to worry maybe potentially too much about that flex, but then you're looking at the side of Gentlemates and how would you want to answer that? Because it's a really aggressive comp that they have going on.
I mean, technically they can still flex it, and this is the struggle for Gentlemates, right? Is that they need to complete their composition, and T1 will still have the luxury of moving any pieces that they want. I don't like the Lee Sin as much. I think this team is going to have a really hard time killing tanky frontliners based on what they have so far. I like the CC setup that Ox highlighted earlier, but that Skarner's just going to build a bunch of Giants belts, and Caitlyn is not going to kill him in any of these early fights or skirmishes.
Smolder.
And also the Jax as well. Like Jax into Twisted Fate, into Braum. Like you can't really do that much, especially if he goes the Zhonya's. Between the Counter-Strike and the Zhonya's, you can't set up that CC on him nearly as effectively. And they do end up locking in the Corki, so a lot of damage potential from there. I do feel like they needed some of that sustained damage in their composition. They obviously were hovering that Smolder before, but You know, I'm guessing it is going to be that Lux in the mid lane. A lot of front-to-back power here from Gentlemates. And it feels like in a straight 5v5, they can do a lot of work. They have that really bulky front line. And it feels like with this Fiora or Gnar being hovered, the side lane pressure may be something that T1 feel like they have to lean into.
And confirms the TF to mid lane, as you predicted, Ginny. So TF back in the mid lane, up against Ica on the Lux. Ica, of course, notorious control mage player. Did play a lot at Tristana in this last year, I think, as everybody did. But ready to see what he can do.
I mean, it's pretty difficult as a TF to get onto the Lux just because of the range, but also as Ox highlighted earlier on, you can continuously push in waves. You can go TP on Lux, you could potentially answer some of these roams. Even your ult, not fully cross map, but you get quite a decent range on that, which to an extent could help you impact some of the team fights.
Faker Lee Sin, though. As we see the hovers over here, although he's technically, I'm waiting. I think the overlay hasn't quite updated. I assume that...
You don't want to see TF jungle?
I don't want to see TF jungle. I got it one time, Kickus. Shout out to the OG. I don't need it again, you know? I'm willing to let that one go.
Yeah, the thing I'm really wondering about is, because they had the Corki mid and the Lux bot lane, if they're keeping that or changing that, because we expected the Lux mid and the Corki bot. We'll get to see when we get in game which way that's gone around. It'd be an interesting
but Lux,
adaptation.
Nautilus bot lane is not against a Braum.
I mean, the thing about Braum Caitlyn is if they get push, it's really strong. But if they fall behind, this is an insane kill lane. Like, it's not my favorite kill lane. It's not a conventional kill lane, but you have a lot of burst damage if Braum is not in a good spot.
And as we're ready to head into game, I'm gonna head over this cast and give it to you guys, and I'll be out of here.
Thank you. We'll group up.
And it is comp on the Lux. So they're going for the Corki mid lane. We've obviously seen a ton of Corki mid lane. He has been changed a little bit recently. Got a lot of true damage on his auto attack, so really can pump out the damage there. But this Lux bot lane, it does mean that, you know, the Braum's good at blocking a lot of the potential to get damage onto the Caitlyn early on. But at some point, you will just be able to one-shot waves and free up the Nautilus to move. So I wonder if that's the theory behind this, is kind of make the lane non-interactive, because realistically, you weren't going to be able to do that much into a Braum with a Nautilus anyway. And then later on, you kind of just clear the waves. Nautilus has free time to roam whenever.
I do like freeing the not up to roam, because as you highlighted, right, like, if you go to play around the TF, and Untara was on a tear in the previous game, so I think if you're going to pick someone to shut down, like, it's not a bad choice. And if you just keep focusing the TF, it really limits his ability, right? They always say gank the global, gank the teleport, and that's doubly true for a Twisted Fate, who can be very vulnerable to these early roams. We'll see how objective-focused this game ends up being. Again, after our previous game, which was all over the place, it's really hard to know how serious the macro game is going to feel here. Like, are we backing at 5 minutes to set up for grubs? Is it going to be fully controlled T1? But Gentlemates,
they have vision on Faker here.
And E-Star puts him in a very difficult position. Faker just threatening the steal, early stun, not going to amount to a lot here, just happy to take the camp. One camp lead. ZT. Now Faker moving down. This is a very awkward start for the Lee Sin.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a pick where you want that early momentum, especially into a Skarner. You want to be able to pair up with the TF and make things happen. And they've been zoned away.
And I think this is one of the struggles of playing against Braum level 1 is,
oh man,
if you do not hook the priority target, and kind of to a certain degree, even if you do, when you have a Lux next to you, what do you do level 1?
Yeah, I don't think level 1 you're really going to be able to do that much, but I think it's okay. I think it's gonna get to the point where really with a pick like Lux or with a lot of mages in the bot lane, you get so much power from getting levels in your primary abilities. So like level 5 and getting like a Lost Chapter back, that's where comp will feel a lot more confident. You are going to have to weather the storm a little bit early. As long as you don't give them a window to dive though, I think it's okay. But speaking of dives,
it's done. Owner charging the Narbar flash out to safety. Ishtal's edge, not going to connect. I mean, pressure from Gentlemates. Clearly not here to mess around. Those fans amplifying the energy. They are not looking to give anything up. But Faker, again, spotted on vision just about this entire early game means that Comp knows this is coming. Adversity knows this is coming. But I don't know if that's going to stop the gank from coming through.
Okay, they got level 2. That's big.
Initial CC, good, unbreakable, but Guma crucially did not take tower aggro, did not proc it. Faker now locked up for a moment, flashes out perfectly timed. Doran, oh, they're getting styled on. They shut down the early pathing, but they cannot stop the dive from coming through. One more stack with the defensive blows. They want the double. They're willing to give one up to get it.
So well played there by T1, and I think Gentleman's made some mistakes there. They used their full CC combo before the dive had even happened, and they were clearly thinking, okay, if we lower the Braum's health, then they're not going to be able to die, but you just burn your tools. You want the lockdown to come in while they have tower aggro. Comp will be able to TP back in, so it doesn't lose that much farm, but it's still a bit of a painful one. I think it's this moment, this was the mistake here, because no aggro had been reached, and now everything is on cooldown, and Comp has TP, so you don't even have an extra combat summoner.
Yeah, and you look at the dream scenario for a Braum in a dive, whether it's offensive or defensive, and it's the enemy team throwing cooldowns into your Unbreakable, right? It's already so much damage mitigation, and once their cooldowns are down, you're great, you're set. Obviously here they are going to trade one back. That was going to be inevitable outside of nobody auto-attacking. But T1 putting this pressure down early, as much as the Lux came out, as much as there were options to try to slow down this bot lane 2v2, T1 have not been slowed down.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say, Thorin was pretty clean on the Caitlyn in that dive. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure that's what I expected in this one. Like, obviously Guma is gonna be comfortable in the support role because it's a lane he's normally in. And Faker can play anything, but Thorin really showed up, and now might be Guma in trouble.
Guma can hop back here to Faker. Guardian proc is big. They're slowly losing or winning the extended fight. Excuse me. Concussive Blood's doing so much work. Flash in. Gold card ready to go. Only gonna land on the Erdate. Zizki Bish barely able to get out. Ica. Valk over the top. Huntara about to fall. That Corki's about to tear through this team. All of Gentlemates ready to follow up. But then again, there's Doran. He does the combo. That's the second time we've seen the combo.
He's been practicing for this moment. You know what's actually crazy is they kind of buffed Corki a lot. His win rate shot up and they nerfed him again. But one of the things they actually buffed was his W damage, which was such a... It's a weird ability to buff because it's like, how often are you getting the W damage value? But he actually got a massive amount of value from in this lane. So I get clearly reading the patch notes on this one. We see the initial play. Guma tanks a lot of damage up front, and T1 feel confident to turn it around. But Doran doesn't have priority bot, so he's not moving anytime soon. Zichi manages to move away, so he's not taking aggro there. We see the Valkyrie come out from Ica, again, doing so much damage there, funnily enough. Doran does finally come over and is able to keep Faker alive, but they're not made happy.
Take that, Riot Balance team. You might have nerfed Phosphorus Bomb a few patches ago. You might have nerfed Gatling Gun, but those Valk buffs.
the damage on that ability is actually absurd. So yeah, really getting the value. It's not a play that I would condone. If anyone's listening thinking, oh, solo queue time, I'm gonna Valk it.
No, I condone that. As long as you're not in my game, I condone that. Excellent Gnar from Owner. Doesn't really have the fault. That's the first boulder. Resets the cooldown a little bit by grabbing it. Okay, Guma on the way in.
The Skarn is here to defend. Faker is...
TF on the way. DG not going to connect on that initial piece of CC. Only level 5. I mean, this is a pretty easy dive for T1. They have more members in the area. The 4v3 are already down. Nice lockup though on Huntara. Good fire back from Gentlemates, but only the double kill.
They're going to try to finish
for T1. Ica's here. Faker's dead. Yeah, nowhere to go. I mean, he's blind. Like, be nice.
Yeah. Gentlemate's doing a good job, though, I think, reacting to that one. Considering the setup from Owner, it looked like it was going to be a definite positive play for there, but the response is solid. And Ica, he is the main beneficiary of these plays. 3-0 on this Corki already. It's going to be such an issue for T1 to deal with, and I think with the composition they have, they wanted to be ahead early. They're trading at the moment, and Owner, he lands everything here, does a ton of damage, getting them both with the stun, both with the ult, both with the boulder, doing that AoE. But the problem is the Skarn is there to move, and Faker's, if he was with Guma immediately, I think they could have got them and got out before anything happened, but it's a little bit slow, and it allows his turnaround to come through. And also just a great move from Erdate there with the Dredge line.
The Dredge line bringing TF in as tower aggro is taken. Definitely clutch there. Gentlemates make the most out of a bad situation, right? Getting that extra kill to Ica. And look, 1 item, 2 item Corki on every patch since the dawn of time, terrifying.
Yeah, that doesn't change.
No. They're gonna be working. Maybe he's a mage now, doesn't matter. 1, 2 item, still gonna be that powerhouse. T1 setting up the first Drake again. They have bot prio. Owners first to the top side of the map. Grubs really have not been the center of attention here, not as contested as we'd expected, but this Drake going to go over the side of T1. Soul will be pretty late at this point, given how late this initial Drake is taken.
Yeah, and it's going to be important for T1 because, again, I think when it gets into 5v5s, I have a lot of confidence in Gentlemate's composition. Owner.
Gyros. Ulti's there. Nerves of Steel. Owner has flash, of course.
Yeah, doesn't find the kill, but does force him away now. Is she looking for a gank here, potentially? But Guma and Doran just going to back away from the situation. That Corki, so scary, level 8 compared to Guma's level 4. You know, even a Braum, who's obviously good at tanking damage, you will get shredded.
100%. I mean, there's just so much follow-up CC as well, right? To lock you down for those rockets. Ica hard clearing the wave now, just to make sure that he doesn't have to stay in that 2v2 lane. Heroes.
Oh, the
has his own flash. Mega Gnar back, but not going to knock into the wall for the extra damage. Flash away from the wall up. Good ward hop. Dodge the initial kick there. Will be able to escape. Takes all of his defensive resources, really, but TP just about to come off cooldown. So at the end of the day, not going to hurt too bad.
And not to critique the GOAT, but I think if you like ward hopped in, he then could have flashed to ensure he got like the CC connect, like the ult connecting. So kind of just threw the Q out.
Yeah, I hear you. Why did you just write a note on the table that says Faker is washed, Ox?
Well, that was not me. That was there when I got here. Yeah, I mean, you know, Faker doesn't commit too much, does still end up getting the flash from the Jax, and has now gone for the Eclipse as well, so a lot of beers going to be available to this Lee Sin.
And really, the repeat gank is where it gets scary, right? Because now Oner has the flash advantage in this matchup, which means in side lane he's not nearly as scared, and yeah, Eclipse, not an item that I am used to seeing. Obviously in the context of solo queue, yes, I just don't see a lot of don't see a lot of Lee Sin these days in comp. Certainly not one so focused on damage, but a super powerful item for these early skirmishes is Guma's going to make his way to the top lane. T1 swapping their lanes around super actively to the game this far, and this time around, unsurprising that Grubs are a minute away and T1 has their bot lane right next to that objective.
And I've got to kind of credit General Mates though, because it feels like T1 keeps doing these swaps to try and catch them off guard, but it doesn't feel like they've really managed to leverage a significant advantage from it. And especially, we haven't really seen the TF make too much of an impact. You know, this pick felt like a big cornerstone for this composition. You have a top laner in the Gnar who, if he's ahead, can really take over the lane. The Caitlyn as well is a momentum-based champ, but you know, Antara went for that ult on the top side, didn't really work out favorably for T1. It was an even trade, and it just feels like General Mates have really done a good job of making sure there's someone to answer the waves mid constantly.
Yeah. You can see Ica using his TP into the mid lane to make sure they have a tempo advantage. Nice pushback onto Guma. Good double ult, and Piro's going in. Exhaust down. Dorn should just be able to walk away. I was hyped up initially, but Exhaust, hell of a summoner spell.
Yeah, but triple Sunburn there on T1, so a lot of value. Comp, definitely good at clearing the wave, not so good at 1v1ing Oner, but you know, I think the job's easy here for the Lux, and I think this is kind of what we're seeing. What we thought the pick might lead to is just clear waves, delete the pressure on that side of the map, and then they can do things like this and make stuff happen. We'll see. And for Ross, able to get a plate as well, so just positives for General Mates right now.
Tara, quick flash. Ooh, awkward hook there. Comp down. Initial burst damage goes down, but Oner about to turn Mega. Pyros needs to get out of here. Bit of a questionable TP, to be honest. Luckily doesn't get the stun into 2, but just finds himself in the waiting arms of T1. Yeah, unlike that fist bumper handshake, that one's not going to feel so good. Stun, into damage. And down goes the Jax.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, oh, seen a play coming in top, but it's...
See? No ulti this time around. Does have the flash, however. Comp on the chase.
Oh,
good
block.
block. Just the edge of that shield from Guma.
And that's going to be enough to stop the play. If that clipped Doran, no cleanse available, so he would have just been dead to rights if that had hit. Still a lot of damage coming up from Comp, though. I think they do need to still back away.
Rinse and repeat. We saw this exact play just a couple of seconds ago. Stun, ulti there for Guma this time around. Doran doing decent damage, but he cannot finish this kill. The back divide hits is big! The rock to shut him down. Credit to Gentle Mates. Stone cold in that exchange.
Yeah, T1 playing with fire a bit, seeing an angle to maybe punish Zichi, but just stepping up too far there. And Comp cleaned it with the skill shots, but this to me felt like a little bit... Okay, I see how it actually happened initially. Antara ulting in, forcing here. No real way to get away from this situation once it happened. And, you know, in hindsight, obviously, if you'd stayed on a tower, they would have been able to CC them and maybe force them to take tower hits. But I think Comp did what he could to try and get away. But the TP, as you said, definitely backfiring.
Yeah, it just ends up in an awkward situation. Obviously, manaless Jax, very easy for this particular group of champions to chase down. But you'd already kind of won the play on the top side, right? You talked about it. 3 summoner spells, the second spawn of Grubs. You put yourself in a good position. T1 naturally make the cross map, but because you invested so much to try to shut it down, you just lost more in the long run.
Yeah,
Ica, though, first item completed.
Yeah.
Don't know if you know this, but I think that Triforce kind of kicks the crap out of Rod of Ages in terms of first item power spikes.
Yeah, a decent amount. And Tara also used his card on the wave, so he just had nothing to do that. And will actually be denied the cannon here as well. A plate going over to Ica. You can see when you look at the goal difference, he is the one with the major lead between these two. And on this Corki as well, he is such a major issue. It's going to warp the game so much where T1's game plan will have to be get on top of the Corki and take him out, or else we just lose every fight.
And again, we saw Jarvan bans, buy bans. The tools available to T1 to get on top of that backline aren't great, aren't reliable. Yes, you have the Mega Gnar. Yes, you can find the Lee Sin flanks, but that's not a guaranteed thing. It's not a Vile. It's not a Jarvan flag and drag.
Yeah, also with the Braum, not the best source of engage. Seen a replay here. Oh, just a flash engage coming out.
That's the kill comp we talked about.
That's what you can do, yeah. Obviously, Doran as well didn't end up having any cleanse this game. I think maybe was thinking the Lux would be mid, so it doesn't have that defensive summon to potentially get you out of those awkward spots, although I think there you're just doomed regardless.
Yeah.
You see Idote looking here.
Flash stun, big commitment there, but of course Owner has no flash of his own. TP coming in from T1. Main's happy to trade that flash for the TP, but hoping not to lose anything else. Good interrupt onto air. Dote denying the buffer on the hook. Ulti from Lux does not hit anybody, and now Faker is here looking for the lineup on the kick, but he doesn't need it. Owner grabbing that first kill. TF now to follow. Tar looking to get a little bit more done, but that is a lot of chain CC, not enough to stop the wild cards. As T1 doing a lot of work on the bottom side of the map.
And that's a sort of moment where T1 immediately punish when General Mates look for a window. This is what the comp is trying to do with the Twisted Fate, to be able to immediately punish when someone oversteps.
It's a little bit awkward.
They can just kill the tower and then
he'll eventually be allowed to push a button. The button he chose was Flash. Sadly, it was the only button he pushed and then channeled R and died. Damn, that is tragic.
And I feel like this is kind of characteristic of playing against T1, where, you know, one mistake becomes such a major issue. You can bleed out so quickly, they will punish so heavily. General Mates look for the play on the bot side, and so much fires back in return. And now T1 with, it's not a huge goal lead, but they have that in pocket. It's a Hextech Soul as well. They already have 2 dragons. The win con is still there.
Yeah. T1 giving some DBZ villain vibes right now, right? We've gone to the weakest form, which is you make them play random champions. Now they're allowed to play off-roll, but they play real champions. And it turns out, when you spend an entire year practicing as a team, or at least for the most part with Antara here, your macro and your map-based decision-making remains pretty damn good.
Yeah. That's something that doesn't really change roll to roll. TP comes in here, Guma, with the Braum mechanics, you know? The engage Braum, something we've seen from Carrier, hasn't always worked, but Guma clearly learning from that, and then Comp.
Good shout out.
The ult kind of
for the record, that is a purely stylish mechanic because it costs you your E. So it's generally ill-advised to try to do the WER combo.
Yeah.
Because you just are wasting your, arguably your most important ability, but it lets you glide through that ult animation. So good catch, Ox.
Yeah. He's been. We've seen a lot of Carrier engage Braum, a lot in the LCK.
Now. Knock back to the wall again. Now the chain CC comes in. This time, Comp is not going to miss. Shut down onto Faker.
Finding a good pick there. And, you know, we nearly have the Manamune completed for Ica. It'll be a huge spike. Actually, Owner just used his jump. They can kill him for shit here.
Scuba willing to give his life to try and get him out here. Hook into the wall from Dote. Just trying to get in range for his ultimate, but Owner's just a little bit too fast. He can go through the wall. Not sure the cooldown on his E. There it is. Now moving in. Luma about to be sacrificed, but he can just go back to Owner. Oh, that's so frustrating for Gentle Mates.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they managed to get away, I saw both towers down. I thought, surely they get at least 1 kill here, maybe 2. But good navigation there, Guma doing a good job. Doesn't even have to burn the summoners. I think that's the really pivotal thing. I think if they'd gotten a flash, they could be happy with it. But again, nothing at all just feels frustrating.
In this mid game, I think is where T1 will have an opportunity to leverage kind of the TF that Ginny talked about, right? Now that a lot of these tier 1s are starting to fall down, maybe they will be able to open up the map a bit more, play for these picks. We've seen what Gentle Mates can do if you group up, if you give them access, if you allow them to use all that AoE, all that hard CC.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like both teams have so much potential to pick, so much CC and burst potential on a single target. So it kind of comes down to who can navigate it better and who can find better targets. This Dragon, though, in a minute 20, this will be a fight. Both teams will definitely want to lean towards that now. Gentle Mates, they're going to get this tower and this kill. We'll see if T1 can respond.
Tara flashback. Gentlemate's happy just to have that TP. Owner stacking Mega.
And Tara just have ult if they want to extend this play, but no one else is moving, so I think they're just scaring them away, keeping 3 members here and trying to pressure mid. Against a champion with so much wave clear as a Corki, any pressure on the mid lane towers is really valuable.
Go in, gold card from Luntara. Aika running. Does he have enough movement speed? Just on the edge. Will finally get locked up. Flash to safety, but doesn't have the Valkyrie anymore. But everything just misses. That's a complete win. Another 4-man stun. 3-man, excuse me, as Zentora manages to backstep. Comp on the backside, misses just about everything, manages to hit. Boosting Singularity, Impyros still locked up. Doran taken down. Faker behind enemy line. The kickback. Look at the gags! It just embarrasses him! In front of his own crowd! In front of his own region! Now the lockup is there. Doran about to go Mega. Looking for his moment. The chain CC. Good thus far. Wants to catch up Comp. Excellent flashback coming from Comp. Owner. Is he going to go down? Should just fall here. That's the shutdown to Comp. Gentlemates, just like that, evening up the gold. A beautiful fight.
And now Dragon in 10 seconds. They can just grab that immediately if they want. Spawn time is pretty fast though from T1, so maybe we'll get a contest, especially since they don't have that much damage for it. So maybe just take the Scuttle Crab. And we said, no, they're going to start off immediately. Hex Gates are on the map as well, so there's going to be a contest from T1. But here, the overstep, Tara doesn't have rapid fire cannon, didn't opt to go for a build with that second. And everything just slightly misses on the back end. This stun was huge, and also the angle of Comp coming in. Yep. The initial skill shot misses, but the threat is so hard to deal with. And we do see that contest coming.
Guma in the pit. Faker on the way. They have Lee Sin Q Smite. Going in, and he takes the dragon. Gentlemates, a beautiful play into a big fat leash for the side of T1. That is despair-inducing.
I think the correct play would have been just secure the Scuttle Crab, get position, get wave priority, and then use that. Take that as the advantage. We could see they wanted the dragon badly, and they end up overcommitting. And with the Hex Gates as well, it's so quick for T1 to get there.
Yeah, and this is, of course, the problem you highlighted. Skarner just doesn't have that damage. Maybe if Jax is there a little bit sooner, maybe if Ike is in a position to follow up, but dies in the previous play, and just a bit over-eager.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, the support rushing you, calling in the jungler to force the 50-50 isn't the most common play. But you're completely correct that they didn't really have the resources on the map to guarantee that Drake was a safe play.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between a team with such a wealth of experience as T1 to a team like Gentlemates, is that they definitely know exactly how much you can take off a favorable play. And Gentlemates, it's hard in a game like this when you're against T1. You constantly think, okay, if we mess something up, we give them Hextech Soul, it's just over. You try and bite a bit more than you can chew, and you get punished for it, especially coming off the back of that play, which they'll have been so hyped from.
Tara had the spellbook cleanse. Doran now going to be the one in trouble. 90 caliber net over the wall. TF trying to Impyros. Wasn't quite able to get the lockdown. Nice flash. Get another skill shot missing, but Faker surely should be able to finish the job here. In the meantime, Comp taking down Doran on the Caitlyn. Jax making it out. Stun. A little bit of extra healing. The red buff just ticking up with something. He needs to touch the Sonic Wave for the wild cards. Take down that man.
Ends up being a 1-for-1. Some good skill shot connection from Faker to get that kill, but Doran goes down in return, and you can see Gentlemates are in a position to make things happen. The collapse is being set up, though. And Tara just have TP if they want to make something happen, but I don't think they're going to go for it. I think they just lose the mid tier 2. Gentlemates will back away, and there's not really much that T1 can do in return in terms of taking structures on the map.
They do at least bluff enough to force Gentlemates back, right? It's only Guma there, but Gentlemates can't be 100% sure. They don't have clear information on where the rest of the team is. So side laners on T1 do get to push in another wave. But 22 minutes in the game, look, item spikes are coming through. 2 items for both Aika and Comp. Excellent position to be in. Doran still working on finishing that second item. And that's going to be the big difference as we come to these next objectives, because as you highlighted, third Drake, Soul Point, they have to contest and fight every Drake, whether it's walking through Caitlyn traps or because they want to fight previously. They need to be there.
And with it being Hextech, Soul, it's at the point where if you win the fight but lose the Drake, it still feels bad. Unless you can immediately finish the game, the Soul is just so powerful. So Gentlemates know that's going to have to be the focus, but you're also against T1, so you're also like, well, what if they just start Baron randomly? And I get, it's not even randomly anymore, it's just T1. So it's definitely a concern. You can just, Comp just ulted Baron. He just had the, I mean, I just say it, it's like you have to be concerned about it because it's always on the cards. T1 are known for this, and that can also get into your head a little bit.
And this is the crazy part, is that it's not, I will assume, I don't have scrim information, but I will assume for most of these players other than Comp, this is the first time that they're playing a lot of games against T1. And yet still, their reputation precedes them, Ox.
Absolutely.
International terrors, the mental warfare built for years to lead to the moment where that Luxalt would just be randomly thrown out. Now, it is like a 30-second cooldown.
Yeah.
So, pretty fine tool to use to check the Baron, but...
You can see here they're establishing the vision control there. First, they want to make sure they vision of Baron, they don't give it up. They're going to have to move down and establish vision control over Dragon, but they're giving up so much space here, and this is kind of part of the problem. They're so concerned about giving up that objective for free, but Jax might be in trouble.
Oh, Sonic Wave going a little bit wide there, as Guma's now going to be the one in trouble. All flash back to safety. Does cost him his flash in the meantime. T1 in the bottom lane. Counterspell's up and available, but the second Pyros sees the rest of the team, he knows he has an opportunity. Good combo. Unbreakable gets a bit more space. Guma able to walk away. That TP feeling a little bit awkward. But now, are they willing to rush the Baron?
Yeah, this is really difficult because T1 are playing a wide map state. They're not opting into 5v5. And the thing is, if General Mate get the Dragon, it's still 3 Dragons to T1. The Soul is still a threat in the future. All they do is slow it down. So it kind of feels like they're all over the place trying to find some pressure.
Well, just look, I mean, look at the pace that T1 are playing at. Untara already TPing back. Owner, the second he sees the team trying to respond, is pushing in that bot side wave. And it just feels like T1, I feel like it's a cliche at this point, are dictating the pace of the game, right?
Yep.
It's Gentlemates just trying to keep up, trying to find the counter plays where they can.
It feels like a lot of the plays from Gentlemates, they've grouped up as a unit, they're pushing forwards, but the map feels small as a result because T1 are confident to put individual members out to control areas, and now they have control of the Dragon area. Trap line formed. It's going to be hard to push in against the TF, the Braum.
Zotac, no Aftershock. Wasn't able to hit anybody, so part of the reason he's so squishy there.
This is not Warmog's era. You can't just heal up off on that damage. And now, Empress
kicked back by Faker. Sonic Wave Resonant Strike follow-up. Doran trying to do a bit more damage onto the Jax. Untara running. Owner on the side. Keep your eyes on that Gnar. That ulti is going to have to be big if they want to win this one. Drake up and available. Owner locked up. The chain CC is enough. Comp finding the kill on the flanker. T1 sent packing. Unless Faker wants to try the steal, Gentlemates have just bought themselves a hell of a lot more time.
Yeah, and you know, good macro play from T1 and how they're playing the map, how they're getting control, but you're still going to have to 5v5 at the end of the day, and you can see Gentlemates don't waver. They're willing to send the Jax in deep, and he's able to disengage, and then the second Owner missteps, the immediate punish, Dragon secured, the game is extended by that. And as it goes on, I'm just thinking how strong this Corki's going to be. 3 items already in the bag. Those autos do so much damage. 20% extra 2 damage, I think was the recent buff that they put it to. He just shreds.
Definitely does. Guma caught out, finds the knockup, but not before the Skarner ult comes down. Comp's ult to follow as well. Decent damage onto the Lux. Not enough to get that return kill. T1 still friending around the Baron. But I think you highlighted it well, right? Eventually, you're going to have to find a 5v5, and for a composition like this that lacks a lot of the traditional 5v5 tools, it's going to come down to how good can you find an R flank? Where can the TF find a pick before the fight starts so you can get a 5v4 instead of having to fight even matches?
I think this is one of the difficult things as well. You're playing into a triple TP team. You have a Lux who can just one-shot waves so safely. If you don't get Baron, even with the split pressure, you're going to struggle to break the base. And I know T1 are a fantastic team to set up for Baron, but you also have the Lux ult to keep checking it on a short cooldown. T1 really feeling the pressure now. This is an aggressive play from Faker to try and find an engage.
Good angle though. Ica, the key target here, looking to lock up the Corki. 3 stacks, 4 lockdown. Doran just flashes the wall. They don't mind leaving Untara to die, but the team going right back over to back him up. Luxalt does good damage onto Gumayusi, but not quite enough to finish it. Jax strong at this stage of the game. Knocked back briefly. Locket fading away. Lock up on Untara is there. Another kill about to come through. Doran gonna get taken down. And Pyros just in time. The Jax finally online.
Even losing the Corki, who's been such a pivotal piece, the rest of the team is there to make the work happen. Owner will get this tier 2 tower, but it's just not enough for how much you're losing on the other side of the map. And now Gentlemates looking to start up the Baron. It is a slow Baron though, with the composition they have.
Owner, stacked Mega. Faker still on one objective thus far, trying to sidestep. All of Gentlemates immediately turn. They are not 50-50ing with the man on your screen. Comp, legendary against T1 as Owner tries to buy a bit more space. Knockback only going to connect onto a few. Baron still leashed, bit of a split focus here from Gentlemates. Gumayusi on the way in. No ulti for the Gnar. There should be no way to contest this. And yet T1 are still here.
Yeah, Guma, you might be in a bit of trouble there.
Guma manages to make it out. Baron down for Gentlemates. Guma giving his life to just see if they were doing it still. They were. But now he's taking Ica on a journey. He's flashing. He's All right. Great from Gentlemates. Terrible from Guma. That was awful.
I love it's real AD carry player playing support energy, but like, this is what you gotta do. You gotta be aggressive. You gotta go in, and it's just like, why are you there?
It's like you're still serving main character energy, but when you're an NPC support player, like it feels very different. You're sprinting it. If you're the Kai'Sa with 5 items, you know, that play makes a lot more sense. You can make the hero play, but the Braum was never going to do anything.
No, it's definitely not a champion who works well in isolation by himself, but you know, Gentlemate's doing a fantastic job on that Baron to turn onto Faker there, but now Engage coming in.
TP mid, good initial lockup, trying to take a Lux out of the equation, but they don't quite finish the kill. Yes, they do, just barely manage to finish it. Trading down, but getting a Baron off the board, it's a bit awkward. See now if T1 can hold the base.
I feel like it's a sort of play that it's correct to go for, but it kind of illustrates how desperate T1's position is, and also Gentlemates are doing a fantastic job of responding to this aggression, always ready to turn it around. Yes, they lose a carry, but they get more in return, and now they're going to try and push and make things happen.
They're continuing the push on the side lane. Hard to get through the strap line.
All of the TP.
Root goes through. Guma immediate exhaust. Now the flank coming in. TP in return. Ica's still going to be able to finish the kill. Owner leaping out. The tower will fall, and now it's Dorn in trouble. Ica's just going to finish that off. Rapid fire cannon, just another second. Doesn't even need it. Double kill for Gentlemates. And we're not sure if they'd be enough for on-roll T1, but it seems like they are enough for off-roll T1. Take them down a bit. Faker looking for the kick. Only manages to find Erdote. Instantly gets popped. Comp is here. That's that TP. Didn't need to use it to cover a side lane. Used it to get involved that much faster. Owner trying to make the difference. Does not want to lose another game today. Knock back to the wall. Excellent use of the Zonrias coming in. Tara looking for the gold card follow-up. There it is. Guma. Knockup not going to connect with Comp, and Ica running goes through some blinking low health bars. Now Guma Yushi might actually be able to kill somebody. 1v1. Braum beating up the Corki. Beating the hell out of this Yordle, but that fight turned fast, man. He's got a helicopter. He's getting the work done. It's a shutdown. It's a hot mess. I still think Gentlemates are ahead, but T1 not done fighting. Ulti going in. Owner's gonna die too now. Heartsteel. It's coming. There it is.
Oh, Zinchi finds it. And T1, they do their best to punish them, to defend their base, but they pay so dearly. They get a lot of kills, but the return is not even favorable at that point. There are so many members on top of that, but Dragon has spawned. Zinchi's still alive.
They have a jungler.
They do. The Skarner can go over walls, though. It's hard to deny him.
Steal this.
You have to rush it. You have to rush it, and you have to be confident
Kick
in
can kick him out of the pit. Hook, body block. Doran still doing damage. Faker, kick the Skarner out. Get it. No! Oh. There it is. Taken down, denied. Doran doesn't have anywhere else to go. Desperation maneuver from T1 not paying off, but Doran is still alive for a brief moment longer, but there's the Jax. Again, right when you need him. He's had the time to scale, and now taken over in the fights. Guma will once again die.
Been a consistent theme for him this game. Faker running away, but we can see super minions knocking on the base mid, and T1. Hextech Soul has escaped them. I don't know if they're going to survive another 4.5 minutes. Ica is back up on the map. 4 items plus a QSS secured now. Going to be so much harder to pick him, and the damage coming out is just absurd.
And I will say, we've learned a lot over the course of this game, right? T1 definitely look better when they have conventional champions. Definitely still feel like being in their main roles would help them a lot.
I think that's fair.
Also, Untara, Teemo Jungle should probably return for him. His mid lane Twisted Fate is not hitting the same, I think it's safe to say.
He definitely peaked with the Teemo Jungle, but he once again has the most kills, so I feel like he's doing his best, you know? He said in the interview he didn't want to let the team down. I don't think he has.
Rob said earlier, when he saw him making all the, just reacting in game 1, he said, we have to protect him at all costs. He didn't know much about him before this tournament, but now he is sacred. Protect Untara.
He's trying his best to be the carry. Heavy, big shoes to fill, rather. Faker is going for a big flank here.
Unspotted. Owner doesn't have any rage. There's no angle. Is there an angle?
They can just kill the Skarner.
Skarner's just gonna die. bit sloppy from the side of Gentlemates. They don't have any follow-ups. They just lose one member for nothing.
I think they kind of thought, oh, it's a Skarner, or you're tanky, or you can go through walls, you're safe. But that single target CC layering is still there from T1. Now, Baron is spawning a little bit after Zitchi is up. I don't think it's with the Hex Gates, he can get, and going through walls, he can get there so quickly. So they can definitely maybe contest vision around Baron, but I think
Faker
actually
spotted.
doing it is going to be hard.
Oh, Faker.
Don't go.
He wants the Gromp.
Let it go.
He's gonna have to.
It's like when my jungle always does this, you know? That's how jungle
Leap in and
works.
die post 30 minutes. You get the first Q, you have to hit the second Q.
Yeah.
I respect. Faker's still hiding here. Tara needs to get out. He won't.
Oh.
That's bad. Didn't lock the gold card on that cycle. Also a little bit awkward. No vision in the bush, crucially. So that means the flash is going to be okay. Again, gold card, Counter-Strike. Nice dodge coming in. Woo, Greek top lane movement is good, but not good enough.
Okay, this is a point where I think they should really start to make this pressure. And Tara has TP, can open up on the map towards top side. Give Ona space to push. The time is a little off. Zuntara's not on the map there, but
They don't have a mid-wave. Top wave is pushing in their favor. The second they see 2 on bot lane, they need to be able to threaten Baron. They're not really in a great spot. Gnar locked up, looking to sidestep. Ulti not coming out, not needed. Owner does a good amount of damage, delays Ica at least. Now it's all eyes on the Baron. 4 members of T1 already set up. Trap line blocking 1 entrant. Zuntara ready to go. Lockdown is there. Lux follow-up is huge, but not enough to finish the kill. Zuntara trying to get away. Flashing the hook from Erdoze is good. Comp now trying to follow up as well. Yet another binding, connecting. T1 will get the Baron. They're losing so much in exchange. 2 members already down 3. With Owner taken into account, they might just lose the game here.
yeah. The inhib has respawn, so no super minions. Doran, that TP I think was a mistake. I think if they use a TP to protect the minion on the Nexus Tower is the right to send it, but it's so low already. I don't even think they need it.
They have another
Still has a
TP.
TP, yeah. This might be it.
Final push. Dorn and Faker versus the world.
Oh,
Dorn, protect! Comp! He's in his head! He doesn't even speak Korean, but he reads his mind!
Doesn't even need the TP, just finds the play. And for the second time today, T1's Nexus will be destroyed. Gentlemates, they want to make it a streak.
They certainly do. And if there's one thing we've learned today, or I've learned as a European pundit, is that we set the wrong team